Hey, what's going on guys? Daniel from ModBot here, and in today's video we are going to be taking another look at this guy, the Anet A8, but we are going to be kind of saying farewell to the Anet A8 because I'm going to be converting it into the AM8, which is an all-metal version. I've already done a lot of upgrades to this machine, and there's plenty of videos on that if you guys want to take a look. Back on my YouTube, you can find all the different upgrades and mods I've done to it. Well, although the print quality has been pretty damn good and pretty consistent with what I've gotten going on, the one major flaw that this machine still has is this acrylic frame that it has. It's just flimsy. Even with all the frame braces that I have in place, it's not nearly as rigid of a machine as I would like for it to be, and due to its acrylic frame, it's easier to have this thing kind of thrown off of its calibration, while when you have more of a sturdy aluminum frame, things are a lot more rigid, so everything sort of stays in place, and it's something that I've been kind of wanting to do for a while now. I was actually doing a stream quite a long time ago. It was probably 6 months ago when somebody that I met at Bay Area Maker Faire named Jack had came into my stream and mentioned that, hey, why don't you do the AM8 mod? And I'd never heard of it up until that point, and after that I looked into it, and it's kind of been on the back burner of something that I wanted to do. So I finally sourced all the parts, I've got them all, and I will be converting this over to an all aluminum frame, amongst quite a lot of other stuff. So this is the last time you will see the Anet A8 looking like this. Next time we see it, it will have an all aluminum frame, and it'll be a completely different machine. So let's go ahead and look at some of the parts that I bought for the conversion. So luckily there is a really nice bill of materials on the Thingiverse page for this project. So I will go ahead and place a link to that Thingiverse page, and I will also place links to as many of the places I purchased these from as possible. I didn't go with the recommended places that were in the bill of materials. I was kind of in a hurry when I was trying to get these parts together. I was going on a work trip, and so I just didn't have time to go through all the different websites that were in the bill of materials. So instead I sourced almost all of this stuff from eBay and Amazon. So let's take a look at what we've got. So I've got some 175 PTFE Bowden Tubing, which is going to be used in conjunction with this guy, which is a dual extruder, 2 colors in, 1 color out, so there will be a pretty good purge tower or ooze shield. But I'm really excited. This will be my first time with a dual extruding machine, so I looked between this guy and the Chimera style, which has got 2 in, 2 out, and this seemed a lot easier just because you don't have to level 2 nozzles side by side. It's just 1 nozzle. So I'm really excited to see how this goes, and I will definitely, I'm sure it'll take some learning to just see how on the software side I need to calibrate and configure this thing. But if it goes well, that should be a lot of fun and make for some really cool projects. So there's that guy. I went with a ramps board. I have some of these in my room, but I wanted to go with the fresh ramps board. The reason why I'm not using the stock board is because there is not an extra slot for the second extruder stepper motor. So this is what a lot of my machines are running, or some kind of variation of the ramps board. And although it is just an 8-bit system and it is quite old, it still works fine for me, and it's been always able to get the job done. So we got that. We've got it's an El-Egu Mega Arduino based board. So I got this on Amazon. I think it was like $15 or so. So that will be pairing with the ramps board. We've got these MK8 style extruders that I also picked up off of Amazon. So I'll be mounting one of these to each side of the top of the printer with NEMA 17 motors. So these are what will be powering. They're pushing the filament through to the Cyclops hot end. We've got a ton of, I'm not even going to pull all this stuff out in here, but I sourced all of these from like eBay and Amazon. But this box is full of just screws, T-nuts, all sorts of screws. We got rubber, vibration, dampening feet. I mean, it's literally just tons and tons of different screws for this build, so nothing too exciting in there. We've got these stepper motors, not stepper motors, they're stepper drivers. I will place a link in the description. I can't remember off the top of my head what they are. It says DRV8825. But I'll place a link in the description for these guys. I think they're able to go up to like 132 micro stepping, which is a little bit better than the ones I normally use, which are like 116. So yeah, if they were a couple extra more dollars, I think, than the normal stepper motor drivers I get, but I figured, what the hell, I'm already a couple hundred probably into this with all the parts, so might as well go with a little bit better one. We've got new belts because as far as I know, the Anet AM8 has cheap belts, so these are rubber belts that are reinforced with, I believe, fiberglass. So I picked up a couple rolls of this stuff. I picked up just 2 of these. These are actually motor vibration dampeners, which make your printer significantly quieter. I only went with 2, although technically I would need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not gonna have any on the extruders or on the Z. I'm only gonna do one on the X-axis motor and one on the Y-axis motor, so we'll see how much of a difference that makes. My buddy put these on one of his printers recently and says it's night and day, so pretty excited about that. I printed all of the parts for this build on the Ender 3, so I'll kind of dump out. There's still a couple more parts I need to print for, like, I'm using the ATX power supply, so the default parts that were in this Thingiverse file won't work. I'll have to either look for modified ones or model them myself, but these are all of the parts I printed over the last probably week here. I printed them at 50% infill. It's PET G. I went with Matter Hackers Build Series PET G. 50% infill with hexagon or honeycomb style infill. It was 0.2 layer height with, I believe, 1 millimeter on the shell. So they're extremely strong parts. But I mean, these are the core pieces other than the aluminum that are going to hold all of your 3D printer together, so I didn't want to cheap out on infill or on shell. So it took probably about a little less than half of a kilogram, I want to say, to print all those parts, so not too bad. And then the last thing I've got in here is just all of these aluminum extrusions. Oh, we got more printed parts, but aluminum extrusions, and aluminum extrusions. So in the build on Thingiverse, they recommend that you get them from, what is the place called? I can't remember, but I will place it in a little text thing right here. But when you purchase from the website that's recommended, you have to create it's like kind of a strange setup process. It's not as simple as going to the website, adding to cart, and checking out. You have to create an account, and you fill out a order form kind of manually, like with the part number and the length and stuff like that. And so I didn't have time because there was so much stuff going on. I went on eBay and I found a guy in Arizona that was selling these pre-cut for the AM8. I think I paid $45 to $50 shipped for all of them, which I think is a little more expensive than if you just get them cut directly from that company that I can't remember right now. But again, for me, I was like, it's an extra 10 bucks, whatever, I'm fine with that. So they all came in really beautifully wrapped. They look nice. The only thing I'm gonna have to do is I picked up a tap set. I'm going to have to tap holes into all of the ends of the aluminum. So I will be doing that before I assemble any of the aluminum frame. So that way I can mount it all together. But this is everything I've got. Amongst this, we've still got the other upgrades that are on there. I'm probably going to be adding as well, I've got a proximity sensor on there. I think I'm going to go with the Orbit BL Touch probe from Matter Hackers as well. I put one on my Ender 3 and it has been amazing, so I'm probably going to swap out the proximity sensor for that as well. But I will keep the ATX power supply. I'll probably keep the MOSFET board I have on there. And a few other upgrades that I can kind of transfer over to this new build. So I'm really excited. This is a pretty big project, so it should be a lot of fun. And again, I'm hoping the end result, I've got a really rigid machine that's capable of printing in dual color, that is silent, and produces some pretty good quality prints. So maybe I'm asking for a lot, but I'm pretty optimistic with everything I've seen and kind of the research I've done that we can make this happen. So don't forget to like the video. If you've got any questions or concerns, let me know in the comments down below and I will gladly answer them, and hope you guys all have a great day as always. Take care.